This week on the Spotlight, we're flashing back all over the place. We go back just a couple of years. You should know this guy. Well, there's his name. We go to Bulls history. Mr. Luol Deng, I'll tell you that right up front. And we're going to be flashing back more. Looks like Rick Sutcliffe and other Cubs. And we got more, though. Carlton Fisk, one of the greatest catchers to ever play. We'll talk this week on the Spotlight. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. From wherever Chicago's sports teams are making news, it's the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Sports Spotlight. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. The Ballpark Pub has trivia. Alternate Mondays at 8 p.m. The next one, July 10th. Come eat, drink, play, and win. A fun game, very competitive. Anyone can win. 514 West Pershing Road. I'll see you over by there. You've got to get to the Sock. Live Benkowski Trivia. Alternate Thursdays, 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Dr. Sherman Clay, chiropractor. Gentle adjusting. Most insurance accepted. Massage therapy, too. Walk-ins are welcome. Call 773-324-4325. That's HEAL. Dr. Sherman Clay. And as we hit May, the team has been doing some serious run scoring, and it's going to be a great feeling to be part of it, and the igniting part of the top of the lineup for a team that's really getting a lot done.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I mean, that's our goal as an offense, is to put a lot of runs on the board, just have quality at bats up there, and we've been doing a good job so far.
I know last year you were not here, but I can tell you that there were some offensive issues, and there was some really good pitching that I guess you could say went to waste because late rallies didn't occur. There were 1 or 2 run games, but just seems like from day one your offense has clicked. With you and Adam at the top of the order.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to do our jobs up there, get on base. We got some great hitters in the middle of the lineup there, so if we can get on base, set the table for them. They've been having pretty good at-bats behind us. And, like you said, our pitchers have been doing great. They're doing great this year. They did great last year. And if they continue to do that, and we hold our own on offense, we'll be in good shape.
I know that in spring training, everybody's battling for a job. And your versatility has certainly been a huge plus for you because, here you are already. It's still before April ends, you've played a couple of positions. And how long have you felt that you were a guy who could play a couple, 3 positions?
Well, last year I started playing all 3. I mean, at first when I signed, I was a shortstop, maybe a little bit of second base, but they moved me around now. I feel fortunate to be able to do that, be able to step into any opportunity I can, and just continue to get better at all 3 positions.
That's cool. Tell us a little bit about your early days in baseball growing up, teams or players you may have liked as a youth.
I grew up in the Bay Area in California, so I was a San Francisco Giants fan, Barry Bonds fan growing up. Most of my family is San Francisco Giants and San Francisco 49ers fans. Okay, well, you may have to make a little transition on the football side. Pretty heavy-duty Bears country around here, as you probably know. A little bit more about that, though. I think you were a Cal Berkeley guy, right? And tell the folks about a teammate that you've been reunited with. Yeah, Eric Johnson. I mean, we played together 3 years in college. We were roommates 2 years out of those 3. And, draft day was pretty special for us in 2011 when we found out we were both going to be Chicago White Sox.
So it's been great being coming up with him. He just got sent down to AAA, but I know he's working hard to get back up here.
On the times, like maybe say in spring training when he was on the hill and you were playing, were there times where you went over to the mound and offered some calm down type advice?
No, I mean he's a pretty straightforward guy. He's all about business, so I leave him to himself when he's pitching. But anytime he needs something, I'm there for him. Just like he'd be there for me if I needed something. So it's awesome.
A little bit more about your development. Tell us a little bit about your early minor league days, and then the idea of making this ball club.
Well, I mean, I've always been a hard worker. I believe that the harder you work, more things will come to you. You got to earn everything you can in this game. You don't want to be satisfied at any time because everybody's working to get you out. Everybody's working. I believe everyone's working harder than I am. So then that means I try and one up them. Be a team player. That's real important to me as well. If you can be a team player and be a good guy in the clubhouse, it's a good formula for winning.
I know some people say that the mental side of baseball is maybe more than even we realize now, because even if you're on bases 400, you're not on 6 out of 10 times, and it's how you deal with not getting it done that sets the table for you getting it done, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a consistent attitude. You got to stay even keel at all times. That's what I believe. If you have a bad game, you got to be ready to come back the next day and perform even better than you did. So, and be the same if you have a great game, the same if you have a bad game, but be ready for the next day.
Now you've dealt with Chicago weather for the first time, and it is a little unpredictable. Until it really heats up towards June, your team might have to manufacture some runs from time to time. Are you prepared to get out on the base paths and show your speed and be involved in some of that top of the order stuff that is vital to a ball club?
Yeah, I mean, wherever I am in the lineup, I want to use my strengths. I use my legs, get on base, be able to run a little bit. Just produce runs. That's our job. So I want to do anything I can to produce runs and help us win ball games. In terms of the weather, it's been pretty cold a couple times here. We just got to really make sure your legs are loose and stay healthy and just keep pushing no matter what the weather is.
Good point. To wrap up, any observations you have about your first full month, from the start of a season, and any things surprising things you may have learned, or something that you didn't expect to occur that did occur?
Well, I think that being up here last year in September really helped me and prepared me for this year. The big leagues, it's where you want to be, and I'm happy to be here. It's just that you got to keep working as hard as you can, do everything you can to help this team win so that you can stay up here, and that's what I've learned is every day get better and do what you can to stay up here.
We'll be watching for more of that, and maybe some late inning ABs that knock in that key run.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. Kim G. Sherman, psychotherapist, Des Plaines Wellness Center. Therapy for individuals, couples, families. Call 847-962-4849. I've known Kim for over 20 years. She is a true professional, and she will help you. Give her a call. Family Dentist, Lawrence Furlan, DDS, 109th and Kedzie, crowns, veneers, cleanings, improving your smile. They do a great job. Call 773-233-7044. Excellent work, impeccable. Call the Family Dentist, 773-233-7044. They did a great job for me. and they'll do a great job for you. You've got to get to Shelton Fireworks, the world's largest warehouse, off Interstate 94, exit 22B in Porter, Indiana. Row after row of the best fireworks anywhere, from the little ones to the grand finales that'll end your show. Birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, in addition to the 4th of July. Just get over there to Shelton Fireworks now. Then you can reload by the time summer comes. Shelton Fireworks, I-94, exit 22B in Portage. In the offseason, the Bulls made strides in athleticism, general depth, and increase in talent level. The things that Scott Skiles has to work on is the rotation, maybe playing time minutes, especially on the back-to-back games. Enjoying a quiet pregame moment here, and just trying to get a handle on what routine you've developed for yourself in the pregame. I know you've gone out and shot already, and what do you like to do in the minutes just leading up to the actual tip-off?
Just just relax. Everything. I just go out there and do everything I've been working on. Just keep reminding myself that prepared myself well. Just relax and just probably get a heat pack. Relax my muscle and just wait for the game.
Is it kind of like building up an energy reserve, or kind of like building up a mental reserve?
No, I think you want to relax. I think you focus about the game. When you're out there, you're thinking about the game. When you come in the locker room, you think about the game. But for a few minutes, you just want to relax and just kind of ease away from everything for a little bit till we meet as a team. Then you refocus again.
It almost sounds like that's a reaction to maybe in your early days, you were so fired up that maybe it threw you off in the opening minutes of your actual game action.
I mean, I think just trying to learn, just adapt. A lot of times you still going to go out there and be, energized and everything. It's just excitement, and this is our opening night, so, a lot of guys are excited. So, it's going to be a lot of energy out there tonight.
Who would be some of the veterans that you could learn from observing, or maybe even told you, about pacing yourself leading up to the tip?
I mean, everybody's different. I think everybody gets, used to a certain way that they do things. I don't think necessarily like you have to do or copy somebody or do, the same routine or anything. I think some people can be energized, So I know the guy next to me, Noach. I don't know where he gets all that energy from, but he's probably running around somewhere right now. And he's still going to have energy later, so everybody's different.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I was going to bring him up, actually, because he does strike me as that Energizer Bunny type of guy. Is the routine that you follow then something that goes back to your college days and something you learned there and brought to the league with you?
I think, yeah. I learned a lot just being 1 year at Duke. I think that's where I learned, my routine and everything. High school, I just showed and played. I think going at Duke, being in front of TV, big games, games being hyped up, kind of taught me a little bit of a routine where, I could relax and just come to the game.
Tell me a little bit about, and I know it's only been a couple of them, but being side by side with Ben and PJ in early parts of the NBA games, savvy veterans who really know the ropes and how that changes your job.
I mean, it's just great. Like you said, they know their job. They make it easier for a lot of us. They just go out there and do what they're supposed to do.
To wrap up, what are the things that happened in, let's say, your very first game, the impressive win over Miami at their place, that you would like to apply to as many of the rest of the 82 as you can?
I think, executing. I think we came out and executed well. Our defense was great. And we as a team, we got to know early that, we play better offense when we play good defense. So if our defense is great, we're going to play good offense.
When you guys get out and run, you really look like you're having fun with it.
I mean, we got to do that. We're a young team. We got to take advantage of that and run.
All right, I got to pass to somebody, but I don't know who's taking the ball. All right, I'm a big part of practice. They need my bounce passes. But seriously, folks, one of the guys to watch for, a raw talent, but a great talent, is Thabo Sefolosha. And as you watch him in isolation, you will see that he's getting a lot of particular instruction from the coaching staff, working on some of the subtle little nuances that are required in an NBA game, some of the different post moves and down low stuff that might be a little different from the game in Europe that he's more accustomed to. And once those things are fine-tuned, you will see a great talent emerging, and you'll see it probably progress on a virtual game-by-game basis as he gets the feel for the different talent levels certainly here, and what is expected of him in his NBA stint with the Chicago Bulls. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Alsip, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and the fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. And now video gaming is available at Red Shoes from open till close. And don't forget, the Illinois Lottery too. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. You've got to get to the Sock Live Minkowski Trivia, alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great game, great people. Check out the Sock. I think you'll be glad you did when you go to my trivia game every other Thursday. 8 p.m., 93rd and Roberts Road. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie does tune-ups, transmission, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes, and emission system repair. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they've done a great job for me. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie. You've got to get to Papa Joe's new location, 5900 West 111th Street. Italian beef, tetrazzini, great pizza, Parmesan, ravioli, and more. All my classic choices. New location, and they can still deliver into the city. Get to Papa Joe's. It makes me feel warm in January to go to a baseball stadium, so let's do it. We flash back to the Cubs of the early 90s. Let's go out to the friendly confines and talk to a guy who many old Cub fans love and appreciate.
Fergie was in town last weekend for an old-timers event, and he talked about continuing his love affair with the fans and the good old friendly confines.
Well, it's a good environment. I think that the nice thing about it is the ballpark hasn't changed except for the lights. Personnel basically is the only thing that's changed. But other than that, it was a great place to work and to play here in Wrigley Field.
Can you put your emotions in perspective on what has been a very volatile, intense time for you? First, let's start with the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Well, that was a lot of fun. It was pressurized, I think, to the point the people on the dais, the Hall of Famers that went in before Gaylord and Rod and I. But other than that, I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed seeing a lot of the fellas that I had a chance to play against and some with, especially Billy and Ernie. And a lot of the fans, especially the Canadian fans that came with a lot of Canadian flags that were waving them, and a lot of good Cub fans that turned out in Cooperstown.
What did Billy and Ernie tell you ahead of time about what it was like? I mean, certainly after you're named into the Hall, there's sort of a time lag before Cooperstown actually happens, but it still probably was pretty chilling and an experience like it's hard to even describe.
Well, first of all, Billy mentioned to me that it would change your life, which it has. I've been busy doing some memorabilia shows and appearances, and coming back to some of the ballparks where I played. Ernie mentioned that it's going to be lucrative, which it has been too. You know, I think that with anything, you want to do things for certain organizations and certain people and charities and things like that. But it's kept me away from my family more than I'd probably want to. And I try to do a lot of these things on the weekends, so I got most of the days to my family. And coming up the school year, within the next few days, my son's going to be going to school and my youngest daughter to day school. So I'm hoping to be home, and I'll be cutting back on quite a few of these appearances.
Best of luck to Fergie. Meantime, a couple of really wild ones played at the friendly confines before the Cubs went out west. Against San Diego, Hector Villanueva bats in the bottom of the ninth. The Cubs trailing 4-2. And this shot rattles around in the left field corner, allowing Sean Dunston to score. Villanueva chugs into third base with a stand-up triple, and the Cubs down by a run. Sud Landrum comes in to pinch run, and Jerome Walton, used comparatively sparingly lately, lifts the fly ball. It gives the speedy Landrum a chance to cross the plate with a beautiful slide, and the game is tied at 4. Meanwhile, Chico Walker, pride of the South Side, singles sharply to left field, and it gives a chance to win the game to Mark Grace, who pounds it into the right field corner, and coming all the way around to score. The winning run is Chico, and the Cubs pull it out incredibly. What about it, Mark Grace?
Yeah, it was one of my better bolts, that's for sure, and that's about the only place that I could have hit the ball and scored Chico, because the outfielders were playing deep and I got it down in the corner and it kind of rattled around there, and Chico was able to come home. It's just you're not used to getting 3 runs in the 9th off a Hurston Leffert, so you got to be real pleased.
With Hector getting a triple, you figure anything's possible then in that inning.
Oh, he should have had it inside the Parker.
Quite an inspirational win, wasn't it? And you guys still playing along here.
Yeah, it's a great win for us, especially when we got down to Hurst 4-zip. And we couldn't have done it without McElroy and Lancaster. They came in and slammed the door on the Padres and gave us an opportunity. And we've got some offense, and if you keep us close, anything's possible. And today we proved it.
And then they would prove that they could let a game slip through their fingers. Though Rick Sutcliffe looked wonderful and fluid in the warm-up and proceeded to do so for 8 1/3 great innings and shutting out the Dodgers Monday night, Jim Essien made a curious pitching change. Leading 3-0 with only 2 outs to go, Chuck McElroy came in and gave up a couple of hits. Les Lancaster held a 3-2 lead at this point, but Juan Samuel's blast would make it 3-3. And then 4-3 Dodgers. And that's the way it would end. And Rick Sutcliffe was not happy afterward when I asked him if he really needed to come out at that time with 2 outs left.
Pat, like I said, I pitch and I let them manage. I don't get into when's the right time and not. He asked me before the inning how I felt, and I said fine, and went out there. A couple of guys got on base, and that's the way the game's played.
You play a game with this impact and the way it was going, dramatic as it was with Laurel. The crowd is so pumped up wanting a complete game. Does that spur you on a little more to want to get a complete game?
Well, sure it does. That's obviously the biggest thrill in all of baseball is to get that last out and have the crowd on their feet. I just it wasn't meant to be tonight. We struggled, and it's a tough loss for all of us.
He's a great veteran pitcher and was pitching a great game. I don't think they wanted to see him come out, but it was time.
Did he ask to stay, or was there no question from him?
There was no question from him, no. I just went out to take him out, and he came right out of there.
When you have a good-sized lead in the 9th inning with an out, how much more of a painful loss is it?
Well, they're all painful, and certainly this one and yesterday's was very difficult, but you bounce back the best you can. Go get him tomorrow.
You've got to get the Jacks. 3325 Ridge Road in Lansing. Trivia every Tuesday at 7 p.m. A very intense competitive game. Any of half a dozen teams can win. My game show at Oliver's gets better and better. At 6100 West 159th Street in Oak Forest. Live trivia, alternate Thursdays at 7 p.m. Have great food, great drink, and great trivia at Oliver's. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie is great. Tune-ups, transmissions, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. They're quick, and they don't charge an arm and a leg. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair, 108th and Kedzie. Trivia will be at the Sock. Alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great food, great drink, great people. Everything great. Reggie's is a great place with tons of music, interesting people and staff, great food and drink at 21st and State. And amongst the cool things they have, Benkowski Trivia. All shows are now Monday at 6 p.m. Reggie's, 21st and State, a fun place.
And now we're back in the spotlight, and who better to talk to as a spokesman for the White Sox than the ageless Carlton Fisk. He talks about a variety of subjects, including answering the most interesting rhetorical question about the White Sox and when their pennant race actually gets started.
Opening day, actually. You know, they say every game you win in the first half is one game that you don't have to worry about winning the second half, but people don't really call it a pennant race until there isn't many games left and there's a dogfight at the end. So it only becomes a pennant race when every win and every loss is pretty visible.
Pudge was then asked to account for some of the outrageous offensive numbers he's put up against the team that let him go in 1981, the Boston Red Sox.
You'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I'd say, geez, I'm never going to get another hit before the year's over. But I don't know. Couldn't happen to a better team, though.
All kidding aside about the Red Sox, though, Pudge was asked about the resurgence of the White Sox pitchers. For example, McDowell after giving up the initial home run on Sunday. Then Garcia after the home run on Monday.
Well, when we talk about a pennant race, the pennant race is usually a pennant race if your pitchers pitch well. You don't win many pennants with offense. Offense, obviously, you have to score some runs in order to win, but
Pudge, when you were on first place teams like in 75 or 83, there was a feeling around the clubhouse of confidence. You knew you were going to pull games out. I'm wondering if you're in any way getting that feeling with this ball club.
Well, this is a much different ball club than we had in 83 or 85. You know, we just can't go out there and have one guy put 3 points on the board quick. You know, we've got a couple guys that can do it when they're swinging well, but that 83 team, we had 4 or 5 guys that could just pound the ball, and as the teams of the Red Sox do, they got guys that can pound the ball, and so we're not going to overpower anybody. We're just going to keep scoring runs, hopefully.
But what about the pressure on your pitching staff?
Well, if we can score 7 runs a game, that takes a lot of the pressure off the pitching staff. But the pitchers know they have to pitch well, and what else do they go out there for? They don't go out there to pitch lousy or give up 5 or 6 runs and see how many runs your offense can score. So the pitchers have pitched well basically all year. Our offense was in a funk for about 6 or 7 weeks, but it looks like some guys are starting to swing the bat pretty well, and hopefully the runs will be there.
Thanks, Mr. Fisk, and we'll see you next week. You've been watching the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Sports Spotlight. Perfect Pitch located at 108th and Kedzie. Take your vehicles there for great repairs. This week's show has been brought to you by the Lansing Floral Shop. Call for your flowers at 708-474-1212. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound saddle stitch. Very competitive pricing, 708-396-1010.